If you're not happy in your current relationship state, stop listening to people who are not getting it right and go to people that have a successful relationship. If they have webinars and they're willing to share their wisdom and their secrets and their keys, like, why would you not do that?
Previously on Love and Happiness.
A lot of couples have that exact dynamic where they are two ships passing in the night because they're worried about, they're focusing on paying the bills and working extra hours, and they're worried about, taking the kids to soccer, and they're putting, like you said, putting other things that are important, but as a priority, they're putting those things on a pedestal versus their mate, and how they should be focusing on spending time with them and cultivating a relationship where, I can't wait to see you. Or let's carve out time for each other. One of the things I love about our relationship, you do carve out time for our relationship. You're absolutely busy. He's one of the busiest men I know, always working. But he said years ago, a man will find time. He'll make time
for what's important.
And he's always managed to make time in his busy schedule.
Well, let's help some single folk, especially single ladies, because that's a male perspective. Oftentimes, a young single individual will try to wonder, he's not that into you, was a movie years ago, where they're trying to wonder, is he really into me? Well, you will always know, and this is a sure tell. It doesn't mean he's not going to take care of his responsibilities. It doesn't mean he's going to quit his job and just stare in your face all day and be like, how are you? But a man, notice I'm saying a man. I'm talking a man who knows who he is and what's important. He will always make time for what's important. And if you are important, he will make time for you.
Amen.
So you have to pay attention to that if you're single. And they tell you all the right things. However, their time is testifying you're not the priority.
The fruit.
Yeah, because how you start is how you finish. And there ought to look like, yes, he's very busy, but yes, he will absolutely find a way to give you some quality over quantitative time that you can say, hey, we're together.
That's good.
So,
Today on Love and Happiness with Doctors Vandy and Barbara Colter.
Just because you know how to kiss doesn't mean you know how to love. I would share with her some of the same things I would share with other individuals in relationship to say, hey, this is what you need to do. And to my wife's credit, she trusted me because there was really no point of reference for where we were.
No.
That was
really
just,
wasn't.
it was like doing the right thing to get the right result. And we did the right thing, which was we held tight. We said, okay,
we're gonna
make it. So we would do $10 dates.
We did. Yes.
Where we would just say, okay, so now our budget is $10, and I'm going back obviously when
for a long time.
$10 could do something. You're going to anywhere $10 now, you probably So you may call it a $25.
But we were creative.
Yes.
Because sometimes we would just make sandwiches and we would go to the beach.
But it's still in the $10 budget.
It was, yes, it was.
Because you have to buy the meat.
Yes, the bread.
Bologna, I don't know, whatever we made, or a couple of chicken wings. You fried up some wings or whatever we did. But my point is, you just look at your season and you decide, my season's not going to get the best of me. You decide what I'm dealing with is not going to, going to destroy the love that we have. Because if you're not careful, apathy will set in, where you just there's no excitement or passion about being in a relationship. Or resentment.
Oh God, that's big.
When women get resentful, it's usually because they're saying, I didn't sign up to be broke.
Right.
I didn't hook up with you to be in this. And some of you watching understand that where you're in a relationship right now, and it's just not looking like what you signed up for. When you said yes, you didn't say yes to this part.
Right.
And that is a very difficult place to be when hey, we're in something right now that this isn't supposed to look like this. This isn't supposed to be like this. So what do you do when what you're seeing is not what should be the case?
That's good.
You have to decide within yourself that, I'm going to keep the main thing and work backwards from that. So for us, the main thing was from the very beginning when we got together, I would say, hey, when we're like 100, we have to still be in love.
Holding
and
hands.
I still want to be that couple, even if we were billionaires that are going to a Dunkin' Donut. I don't even like Dunkin' Donuts. No offense, Dunkin' Donuts.
I like Krispy Kremes.
But all I'm saying is I would see old people getting out, walking in. No
With
offense,
a cup of
no
coffee.
offense, seniors who are very old. Not all of them are doing it, but it was so sweet. We would see
holding
a very,
hands.
very old, 75
Sharing a donut,
years old,
right.
holding hands, probably holding each other up, walking to Dunkin' Donuts, and we'd be like, oh, that's great.
It's going to be us one day.
Yeah, we want to be that couple that survived not just the test of time, but the test of love, that our love stood through all of those seasons. So I had that instilled early on, that we had a vision. Another thing in our course, shameless plug, that we teach you how to have not just a vision you articulate, but a vision you can execute through tough times. And we had a vision, and the vision was, hey, we got to be happy, so we got to hold on to each other in the dark when it was dark, and boy, it's just like an infomercial. In our book, Love and Happiness, The Secrets to Creating Winning Relationships, there's a chapter called Don't Die in the Dark, because that was the season we were in. So that was an easy write. That just flowed. I wrote that chapter, and it was just, it hurt. And we just realized that, if we're going to walk through this together, then we have a great chance to survive, that our love would survive and thrive.
That's right.
Through all of that.
If you have any questions about your relationship, and sometimes you do, but you don't know who to ask, you don't know who to turn to, just email us any questions you may have about relationships.
For those of you in a relationship, married, or if you're single and you plan on being in a great relationship, we have something that we absolutely know will bless you. We want to tell you about our course, Finding Each Other's Frequency. It's a course that will allow you to tune into each other, overcome some hurts and past resentments, and most importantly, equip you on how to have a strong relationship, how to overcome and how to insulate and protect your relationship against anything life throws at you. That way, the love that you have will stand the test of time. We want you to just watch this.
Want your relationship to go from bad to good to great, or great to greater? Get our Finding Each Other's Frequency Relationship Masterclass. Our online course covers secrets to creating your happily ever after, with proven tools, tactics, techniques that'll make your relationship better within 30 days. After over 20 years of counsel and relationship coaching, Doctors Vandy and Barbara Colter have put together the keys to improve communication, intimacy, alleviate resentment, anger, and most importantly, win. You can do our online 3-step course in the privacy of your own home or on your smart device with that special someone and become an unofficial relationship expert. You deserve to be happy, so you owe it to yourself, your mate, your children, and your relationship. Log on to loveandhappiness.tv today for more information. Remember, no one gets their happily ever after. They create their happily ever after. Create yours today.
So we did. We did. And my wife held on, and it was not easy. That was, probably had like 15 deliverance services a month.
Maybe 20.
That I would be like,
Because this girl was independent.
Yeah.
When she met you, she had her own house built from the ground. She had 2 vehicles. She had no kids. She
did.
She had her own business.
Yes.
So
she did.
So my point is, when relationships hit a point where financially things are not right. Not just that, psychologically, I was depressed because my business had shut down.
Yeah.
But you helped me navigate out of that, and I just think that it's about the journey, loving each other through the journey,
and it's the lessons we learn.
The lessons
in the journey.
we learn.
Because one of the things that I had discovered from the journey was, how in the Bible there's a story about Achan who had put something under the tent that belonged to God. And as a result, the whole nation couldn't go forward. And there was this huge issue to the point that by the time God had revealed the deal, they had to kill Achan and everything connected, his whole family that was connected to him. So oftentimes the lesson in the journey was our relationship technically would have never survived if what she had buried in her heart that I didn't know, which is her independence
and pride.
Because when you go into a relationship, you have to become interdependent. There's a difference. When you're independent, I don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I don't need no woman. That's independence in its highest form. But when you're in a quality relationship, you must become interdependent, which is I can do it on my own, but I can do it with you as well.
Yes.
And I prefer to do it with you, but make no mistake, I can do it without you. So interdependency is a key if you really want to become one. If you got two holes over there that are refusing to come together and be interdependent and lean on each other as they lean on the Lord, you are going to have a relationship with a lot of wedges and a lot of schisms. And my wife did not realize that because she had accomplished so much, she had already decided, I am independent. And I didn't know that, because if you speak to her, you'd never get that sense, because it was never an ego thing. It just was a reality. Her whole life she was independent. And I was always, because I had been previously married and I had a successful relationship that suddenly tragically ended, I knew the value of interdependency, to be able to do it by yourself, but to know that the power is in the two coming together, two touching and agreeing, two becoming one, all of that. So when her business had fell, that's when God literally revealed her to her, because then I had to carry everything, and that gained trust from her to go, you know what? He's carrying me. He's not making me feel bad about it. I let you stay in bed for like,
it was like 6 months.
6 months.
So. It was
the
crazy.
Depression.
It was crazy.
Christians get depressed. Let's
yes,
stop right
they
there.
do.
Some of you watching right now are depressed. And I want you to be encouraged. Just know that don't give into the spirit of depression, but recognize, own it. Then take authority over it.
Amen.
Speak to that spirit. Rebuke that spirit. Bind it. Do whatever you want, but don't act like it's not there, like a pink elephant in the room.
Right.
You like, I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed.
And everyone knows you're depressed. You know you're depressed.
Popping pills instead of getting on your knees and praying and taking authority, because you refuse to recognize it, because you think you're a Christian, so you shouldn't be depressed. David got depressed. Jesus got depressed. Do not think depression doesn't hit us. When you start to feel, when Jesus was in the garden, trust me, that was depression that made him say, if this cup can pass, it's just too much for me. And all I'm saying to you is, if you are feeling that kind of way, just know that if you cast that onto the Lord, just like Jesus did, and just like David did, David washed his face and got back in the game. If you just walk in the authority God has given you, you can overcome that. And that's what my wife had to do. And as a result, we were in the discovery zone. The discovery zone is when you learn from the journey. And she discovered she could trust me. And I discovered that she's now really ready to become interdependent. And I might have gotten blindsided had that not have happened, where I had to do this for us
and may I say,
to get there.
That helped us become one, because the Bible says two become one.
Yeah.
We were going to be two, and I didn't know it. You didn't know it.
I didn't
because
know. That's right.
I thought, you have your things going on. I have my things going on, and that wouldn't have given us the time to actually learn how to come together.
Yeah.
If I still had that pride,
Yeah.
if I still had that, I'm an independent woman, and I'm not saying ladies don't be independent, self-sufficient.
But just don't be isolationist about it. Don't be to the fact that, or to the place that you're so individual that you're like, I don't need him.
Right.
Well, then why are you in the relationship?
Right.
You should be in a relationship because you want to, not because you need each other.
That's right.
But you should also be interdependent enough to lean on each other and know that it's okay to be one, because you can't be one if you're two separate entities.
That's right.
Yeah. So, okay, so did you finish what's hot with you?
I'm excited, but yes, I actually finished with what's hot.
All right, because I have something that's hot.
What is hot?
All right, so
What is hot?
Let's
What's
see what
hot?
I have that's hot. All right, so this one is interesting because a lot of relationships they have this kind of misplaced perspective on what the symbols of a relationship are. It's the equivalent of, in the old days when I grew up watching all the old scary movies, the old black and white Draculas and Wolfman and all those kind of things. And I grew up a complete Philistine in New York. And so don't judge me, lest ye be judged. And as I would watch them, and I didn't grow up in church, by the way, so it was easy. There was no conviction to just watch anything. And as I'm watching certain movies, it was always interesting how they could pull a cross out and they would be like, trying to scare off the demon or the vampire. And sometimes the vampire would just grab the cross like, that don't mean nothing to me. Because the real deal was, if the person in those movies didn't really have the faith, that symbol didn't mean anything. So it was like, in the Bible, the sons of Sceva, where they tried to do all these miracles, and then all of a sudden they discover, the demon's like, you have no authority. You can't, I don't care what you say, we're not even scared of you. So in my hot topic, in my what's hot, I want to talk about the symbolisms, because so many relationships are more symbolic than substantive. It's more about the look, the sizzle, the title, than the being, So to make it very simple, to start it off, I'm just looking at it from this hot topic of, just because you know how to kiss doesn't mean you know how to love.
That's good.
So just because you kiss doesn't mean you know how to love. Too many people give their heart to a good kisser, and I'm keeping it PG so you can fill in anything you want in place of what I just said. But they give their heart to somebody who's a good kisser, instead of evaluating whether they're really the right person to build a relationship with. Whether or not they're really the right kind of person that they should trust with their heart. And as a result of that kiss that you thought represented love, that kiss really only represented lust. And so as a result, what's hot to me is when a relationship understands, or when those watching, and we call you lovers for life, those of you who are in a commitment like marriage, who have decided we're going to go till death do us part, we call you lovers for life. Those of you who are single, who love, who refuse to let what you've been through change who you are.
Make you bitter.
Yeah,
Make
you're
you
gonna
stop
still
trying to find that person that God has assigned for your life.
That's right. If they walked out on you, you could just say, you know what? There's some people who walk out of Kentucky Fried Chicken every day because they don't want chicken. They're gonna go to Red Lobster because they want seafood, and you just say, you know what? I'm the seafood. I just wasn't what they wanted. I'm the Mercedes-Benz. You was looking for a Lexus. I'm still great because I'm a Mercedes-Benz. Whatever it is, you have to just recognize you still have value, and you have already decided, no matter what I go through, I'm not going to change my heart about love. So we call you a lover for life as well. So
That's
you could
right.
be single or you could be married. And nonetheless, when you are a lover for life, the reality is you have to make sure you don't get too swept up in what something represents versus what it really is, because sometimes a kiss is just a kiss. And by that, what I mean is you have to look at the relationship past the physical contact.
Absolutely.
Past the touch, past the tingle that you feel, past the warm sensation in your chest. You have to begin to look at, is this someone I could build a life with, not based on what they have, the tangible things, because they could lose the job and lose the house, or lose the job and lose the car, or lose the job and lose their savings. Or it's the
this?
core
You're gonna
values.
lose your look soon. You're gonna, let a woman have a baby or two sometimes, or let a man, don't go to the gym as much. So it can't be based on the outward appearance or the tangible, like you're saying. It has to be on that intangible thing, know.
So I'll ask you a question. Why do you believe that we'll look at the male and female perspective, and we represent a male and female, to God be the glory. Why do you think from a woman's perspective, she can get hung up on, and when I say the kiss, I'm not limiting it to the kiss. I'm also not saying it has to be a kiss. It could be, maybe he gave you more attention than, the last person. But all I'm saying is those are not the foundations to build. You need to know that they have the work ethic for the relationship. That, so from a woman's standpoint, why would you, what do you think happens for a woman to just slide so easily into a relationship based on just a symbol or a representation of, he might be the one because?
You know what? It could be an array of things. For example, it could be her age. She could be looking at her biological time clock.
Good.
All her
Good
girlfriends are married.
Good point.
I'm turning 30 soon and I need a relationship.
Clock is ticking. I haven't had a baby yet.
Yes, or it could be basically her past, her childhood, seeing her father not there, and for some reasons, feeling voids.
Gotcha.
I think every daughter needs her father. Every son needs the love of his mother.
But the reality is, everyone won't have it.
And that's true.
And that's why it's important to know your void,
right?
So that you don't become somebody who's always looking for love in all the wrong places.
Absolutely. Yes. So I believe that if you know who you are, if you are centered, if you are just determined, that you will not settle for less. You can't be that woman who is desperate to be in a relationship so that you'll just settle for anything. Yeah. So I believe if you know who your core is, know who you are in Christ. Yeah. I've always said I'm God's favorite daughter, and since I'm God's favorite daughter, I know He has the best for me. So I was looking for the best. He gave her the best. Yes, but I did. Hey, now, yes, He did. But I did have my one fair share. I'll say that of not so best of a buster. Yeah. But I just believe
you was practicing for the real. That's all right.
Is this gonna be edited?
No.
I think it should. I think you should just cut that part out.
I'm not.
Anyway, so I had to learn my lesson. I had to learn, early on who I am and what I will not settle for. Yeah. And I had to forgive myself for settling for less before God gave me His favorite.
But it was the less, if we can open that up.
Okay.
It was in the less that you learned the lesson.
Absolutely.
Because when the lesser showed up and you did look at the representation, the title, this is my boyfriend, or this is my whatever, that thing was, then when it didn't live up to that, it was when it was less than that, that it taught you and me in my life. That's where the lessons are when it doesn't live up. The mistake I think a lot of people make is they don't learn their lessons. So as a result, their love life looks like a Friday the 13th, part 1, part 2, part 3, and bodies are behind your history, and you're looking like, well, who's Jason? You're Jason. You're killing everybody, and you don't even realize it because you think they're killing the relationships, or because you are Jason, you can't even pick the right quality person. You keep picking poison, and you keep drinking the wrong drink. But to that point, I believe that when the focus is in the right place, that the relationship has a tremendous advantage to succeed. That if the focus is not on the symbol, but the focus is really on the substance. If you really take the time to say, I'm going to look at this individual, their whole life, and that's why it's important. You have to walk slow. And a lot of times when you focus on the kiss, you run too fast, and you'll look back and go, oh, I knew I should have, and I saw this. So to those of you who are already on the other side of that, and now you're trying to put it all in perspective, be encouraged, because Love and Happiness is going to give you a ton of help for you to kind of unravel what we call a spaghetti mess. The things that are all kind of confused and mingled with some of the water that's under the bridge, some of the hurt, some of the challenges, some of the disappointment, some of the resentment. We're going to be giving you so much. We're so excited that you're watching, and we encourage you to make sure you set your DVR, that you always catch our broadcast. And we also have a segment that we have where we answer questions. So if you have a relationship question, now I'm a certified Christian counselor. This isn't just a conversation. That I've been counseling couples and individuals for over 20 plus years. I was a former police chaplain where I would counsel the police officers in my city and families. This is not something that we take lightly, and we have, as pastors of our former church, my wife and I would also counsel for over 10 years.
Right.
So we are well able to give you some sound counsel. And if you have questions that you think you would like to ask, you can email them. We will not read your name. They will stay anonymous. You'll see in our question segments that we add that people who email us questions, we answer them. And on the screen will be the information for you to email us. Any question doesn't matter. We will answer. We will get to them all. You just keep watching. You'll get your answer. So with that in mind, we want to thank you for watching Love and Happiness. loveandhappiness.tv. And remember, no one gets their happily ever after. They have to create their happily ever after. So we're excited that you're watching our broadcast because you're committed to creating yours. God bless you.
God bless. If you have any questions about your relationship, and sometimes you do, but you don't know who to ask, you don't know who to turn to, just email us any questions you may have about relationships.
For those of you in a relationship, married, or if you're single and you plan on being in a great relationship, we have something that we absolutely know will bless you. We want to tell you about our course, Finding Each Other's Frequency. It's a course that will allow you to tune into each other, overcome some hurts and past resentments, and most importantly, equip you on how to have a strong relationship, how to overcome and how to insulate and protect your relationship against anything life throws at you. That way, the love that you have will stand the test of time. We want you to just watch this.
Want your relationship to go from bad to good to great, or great to greater? Get our Finding Each Other's Frequency Relationship Masterclass. Our online course covers secrets to creating your happily ever after, with proven tools, tactics, techniques that'll make your relationship better within 30 days. After over 20 years of counsel and relationship coaching, Doctors Vandy and Barbara Colter have put together the keys to improve communication, intimacy, alleviate resentment, anger, and most importantly, win. You can do our online 3-step course in the privacy of your own home or on your smart device with that special someone and become an unofficial relationship expert. You deserve to be happy, so you owe it to yourself, your mate, your children, and your relationship. Log on to loveandhappiness.tv today for more information. Remember, no one gets their happily ever after. They create their happily ever after. Create yours today.
If you're not happy in your current relationship state, stop listening to people who are not getting it right and go to people that have a successful relationship. If they have webinars and they're willing to share their wisdom and their secrets and their keys, like, why would you not do that?